Welcome to the Earning Freedom Podcast. I am Michael Santos with michaelsantos.com and prisonprofessor.com, here to provide another installment of our book, Success After Prison: How I Built Assets Worth $1 Million Within 2 Years of Release from 26 Years Inside, and how you can succeed too. I know it's a little bit of a cumbersome title, but I'm writing this book, as I've said before, specifically for my brothers who are in prison, who are in jail, who are in schools where they've been identified as possibly being vulnerable to going into prisons and jails. My job is to show people, if you're living in struggle, you can start making decisions today that will help you emerge successfully. That will help you build a better outcome for your life. You don't wait for somebody else to open those opportunities for you. You seize the moment. You take advantage of every opportunity. You sow seeds. You nurture those seeds, and you prepare yourself for success. Not mediocrity, but true success. That's what the Earning Freedom program is about. That's what Success After Prison is about. That's what the Earning Freedom Mastermind course is about. That's what every interview I offer to the men who are locked up. I try to show them that you can start making decisions today that will help you transition into a life of relevance, meaning, success, prosperity, happiness. All of this happens because of the choices that you start making right now. Who am I to tell you that? I'm a guy who was in prison for 26 years, came back successfully, just as I want everybody else to do. One caveat here, as I always say, or I don't know if it's a caveat, but one message that I give and I feel very strongly about is I never ask anybody to do anything that I didn't do, that didn't work for me. And everything I am sharing here is a strategy that worked for me. It's a strategy that I learned from masterminds, and that's why I want to share it with you. If you would like to have a free digital copy of this book, please just go to my website at michaelsantos.com, enter your email address, and one will be automatically sent to you in a digital version. If you are listening to this on iTunes, please do me the favor and subscribe to the show, rate and review the show so that more people can get information on how to overcome struggle or challenges in their life. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the show. If you're on Facebook, please like the page on my public Facebook page, or follow me on Twitter at Michael G. Santos, on LinkedIn. I'm so transparent and so out there because I want people to know that regardless of what challenges you're going through today, you can begin preparing for success. That's everything this is about. That's what this is all about. And I look forward to getting back onto the program of reading this book to you. When I left off in the last episode, which was number 5, I was talking about the importance of visualize, plan, execute. And all individuals who aspire to succeed always follow that pattern. And those who reach their highest potential follow the pattern in sports, in business, in politics, in their marriage, and in any area of life where they want to excel. They always know where they are, and they always know where they're going. They create plans, strategies, and make decisions in accordance with those plans and strategies. And so in order to build a career around my journey, which is what I aspired to do when I was still locked up, when I was coming to the end game, I knew my mentor, Lee, he suggested to me, you need to do this. I needed to craft my own products and services that would communicate that message. And with that end in mind, I began writing very specific books. First, I wrote Earning Freedom. I've got a copy of it right here. It's one of the few books I have a copy of right here. Earning Freedom, Conquering a 45-Year Prison Term, to show people who were going through the criminal justice system the exact path that empowered me through the decades I served in every security level. That book provides the many details that I left out in this synopsis of my journey. Earning Freedom would show readers from the day of my arrest on August the 11th, 1987, until the day that I transitioned to a halfway house on August the 13th, 2012. Now, the remainder of this book that I'm reading to you, it's going to discuss my final year in the halfway house and my first 2 years of liberty. But in Earning Freedom, you learn how I made decisions inside that really changed my life. It helps you maintain or learn, rather, I don't know that learn is the right word, but I just try and share what allowed me to maintain a high level of discipline and energy as over a very long period of time, over decades, over 26 years, it's a long time to stay positive, to stay focused. And in Earning Freedom, I shared the strategies that worked for me. They were strategies that I learned from masterminds. Can't take any credit for any of it. I give all credit to the leaders who inspired me, the giant shoulders that I stood upon and said, I'm going to be like them. I give credit to the avatars that I wanted to meet, that I wanted to prove worthy of their respect. And that's what I tried to share in Earning Freedom. But after Earning Freedom, I wrote Prison. I've got a copy of that one here too, of Prison, my 8,344th day, because I wanted readers to see what it means to make a disciplined decision. Earning Freedom showed you over the long term. This book provides a glimpse of a typical day during my 23rd year of confinement. And the book begins the book begins by the day, at the moment my eyes opened in the morning. And it concludes when I lie down in my rack to sleep. It covers a single day, describing what it means to make disciplined, deliberate decisions while living in the midst of challenge. And I can tell you, this book here, in fact, I can go to it right here, turn to the page. And it says, after some forewords and endorsements and testimonials and so on, I still remember the first sentence. It's no, not right here. There's the first sentence right here. It's still dark in the housing unit when my eyes open. I press the button on my Timex Ironman watch and see that I have overslept. It's 1:34 in the morning on Monday, June 14th, 2010, my 8,344th day in prison. You see, and then the book proceeds all the way to the end, I think, right here, and it says, when I climb onto my rack and stretch out, my body feels tired. I think it's like about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but you'll read why I did that. And I can tell you that I was inspired to write this book by Alexander Solzhenitsyn, another mastermind from whom I learned. And he wrote a book called A Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich. It talks about one day for an individual who was serving 10 years in prison. How did he go through it? And so I was inspired to do it because I wanted to show my readers, those for whom I was going to teach, what type of discipline it takes to really succeed, to really overcome the struggle of imprisonment. It doesn't happen by accident. Statistics will show you that. You've got to say, I am going to succeed no matter what. And if you do that, that's when you start making the difference in your life. And so you can read about that in Prison, my 8,344th day. After that, then I wrote 2 separate books. One of them is Triumph. One of them is Success for the Straight A Guide. This one's for at-risk youth, for juveniles. This one's for adults. And both of those books were part of this program, part of the strategy that I wanted to share with people. I wanted them to see that to succeed in prison, it doesn't happen by accident. Each book holds the same message, but I wrote them for specific audiences, for people who are incarcerated. And in writing those books, I intended to build products that I could use to advance my career upon release. That's really what I want to share with you, is that right now you can begin sowing seeds that will help you emerge successfully. Right now, wherever you are, and there's an old poet who said, iron bars alone do not make a cage. There are many people living out here in society that feel as if they're in a prison. Right? They can't advance their career. They're struggling in their marriage. They are struggling with their fitness. They are struggling because of finances. You see, all of that can be debilitating. It can feel just as confining as a prison. I've met so many people out here, they've never been locked up, but I can tell you in their mind, they are definitely locked up. They can't break free. And that's what we want to do here with the Earning Freedom podcast. That's what we want to do here with Success After Prison. That's what we want to do here with all of the work that I produce, is to show people, regardless of what challenges you're facing today, there's a way through it. Masterminds have been teaching us that lesson for decades, for scores of years, for centuries, for millennia. I mean, come on. This is just part of the human experience. We face struggle, we break through. It's part of growth. I mean, they say that gold is tested in the fire, and gold is tested through the fire of adversity. Or no, adversity, I don't remember. Forget about it. I was trying to use a cliche that I remember reading. Not a cliche, but a saying of wisdom. I think it's from the Proverbs. Gold is tested through the fire of adversity. Adversity is tested through the fire. I don't remember. But at the end of the day, if you're going through struggle, you have heard this one from Nietzsche, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. You make it through this, you can conquer anything. That's what success after prison is all about. That's what earning freedom is all about. And that's what I want for you. If you're going through a challenge, make the decisions that are going to help you emerge successfully. Make sure that you are thinking about every relationship, every person you talk to in there. Make sure that you're thinking about every activity you pursue. Make sure you're thinking about what you can pursue, how you're developing your vocabulary, how you're saying hello to other people. You see, every choice has an implication, has a ramification. You'll learn a little bit more about that as I go on through this book and I tell you my story after getting out of prison and how I came out successfully. But I want you to begin with that frame of mind, that the relationship between every decision that you make. And as I was approaching release, I told you I got married to Carol on June 24th, 2003. Maybe I didn't give you the date, but I got married in prison when I still had more than 10 years ahead of me. And over the course of my final decade, authorities transferred me several times. After we got married in Fort Dix, I was sent to the following institutions. I went to Florence, Colorado first, the federal prison camp in Florence, Colorado. Then I went to the federal prison camp in Lompoc, California. Then I went to the federal prison camp in Taft, California. Then I went to the federal prison camp in Atwater, California before I transitioned out. So, I've been around the system. I was all over. I started, as I said before, first prison, United States Penitentiary, Atlanta, then USP Lewisburg, then FCI McKean, then FCI Fairton, then FCI Fort Dix, then those camps. So all over from coast to coast over 26 years. But once Carol came into my life, everything got easier, right? Because I had somebody to love and somebody who loved me. And with each transfer, Carol would pack up her belongings and move so that we could spend as much time together visiting as possible. We visited every day that it was possible. We're together. We made plans for my release. It's a funny thing. When she came into my life, I was already writing and I'd made some money in the stock market that I wrote about in my Earning Freedom book. So I had some capital when she came into my life, and I told her that her life was going to be different in 5 years. And how was it going to be different? It was going to be different because she was going to follow the same strategy that I share with my Earning Freedom Mastermind course. She followed the same strategy of visualize, plan, execute, and she did it flawlessly. I mean, she didn't only get her registered nurse, she had to go through everything. You had to, it's tough to be, in your late 30s and have to go back to school and learn biology and algebra and, calculus and all these different anatomy courses and so on to be just a prerequisites to get into nursing school. But she did it. Why? Because she was on this path of masterminds. She became a certified nurse's aide, then a licensed vocational nurse, then a registered nurse. Then she got her master's degree in nursing. I mean, she did it. Everybody who goes through challenge and struggle does this. It's time for you to ask the question, am I ready? Have I had enough of mediocrity? Have I had enough of struggle? Is it time for me to start sowing these seeds that will help me become the best in the world at what I want to do? That's what this is about. If you want to be the best in the world at something, then start doing whatever is possible, wherever you are, to start building that ladder. Because you're in a pit right now. I've been there. I know you are in a pit, but there's a rope, and you can build this strength to climb that rope. You can build the strength to climb your way out of the struggle that you're in right now and start preparing for success. So with each transfer, as I said, Carol came with me. She packed up. She moved along. We'd make plans for my release. She with a nursing credential, she could work from anywhere. And we chose nursing specifically because we believed that nursing would allow her to earn a livable wage regardless of where authorities transferred me. See, I couldn't control that. I couldn't control where I was going to serve my sentence, right? Nobody can. I mean, there's some other forces that are at play. And that's just part of life. And we've got to be able to succeed regardless of what external conditions we're living in. So, by earning her license to practice as a registered nurse, we anticipated that Carol would be able to earn a sufficient income to support our family even after my release. Because the reality is, I'm having out for 2 years, but I knew that it was going to take me some time before I'd start crushing it and I could start devoting this much time to doing what I'm really passionate about. And what am I passionate about? I'm passionate about helping people reach their highest potential, particularly if you're in struggle. I want you to know there's a path through, particularly if you're confined, particularly if you're in a school. I want you to know that there's a method to find energy, drive, passion, make things happen. Don't sleep. Don't wait for somebody else to change your life. Do it. That's what earning freedom is all about. That's what I learned from masterminds. And by planning correctly, taking the right approach, you could make it happen. With Carol, I knew that her earnings would allow me to work, to begin building my career, a career that would allow me to, that I knew that was going to take several years to build and develop. But while I worked, she would earn a regular income stream or multiple income streams together. And, we'd be able to build some stability for our family, even though I wasn't going to be in prison. I was just going to be released from prison. So readers who have time to serve in prison should anticipate the income streams that you are going to build upon release. Where will your income originate? How much will you earn? How will those earnings advance your stability? By using the Socratic questioning approach, Carol and I were able to make plans that would advance prospects for our success upon release. And that's everything. That's everything that's so important, is to just have a solid plan. Understand where you're going. Understand how you're going to get there. I got to break away again and tell you a story. I told this story to my brothers at Atwater Penitentiary when I visited there in early January 2016. And I've told the story a lot. I have probably written about it in numerous of my books because it's a story of a guy I met when I was in Florence. I'd just gotten to the camp, and there was a guy there who'd been in prison for about a quarter century, 25 years, and he was getting out of jail, scared to death. Why? Because he didn't have anybody outside. Didn't know I was going to get a job. Didn't know anything. He'd been locked up. He lost everybody, right? And I told him, I said, look, let's just try this approach. And he said, what's that? I said, well, what do you know how to do? What are you good at right now? And he'd worked and become a diesel mechanic and learned heavy equipment. And, so I said, great. That's all I need to know. So we sat down together. We wrote a letter, right? Here's what the letter basically said. First of all, I had my wife help me. She helped me locate people who might be receptive to a guy with his skill set, and they were contractors. And we just wrote them a letter. We didn't know who they were. They didn't know who we were. We wrote this letter. It said basically something like this. Look, I'm getting out of prison, and if that turns you off, you can just throw the letter away right now. But that said, I want you to know I'm hungry to add value to the employer who will give me an opportunity. And these are the skill sets that I have. I'm good with diesel mechanic. I know how to operate heavy equipment. I know how to do this. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. I know that. And what I am offering for you is I would like an opportunity to come and work for you for free. I will work for free for 2 weeks. And if I'm not the first guy on the job, the last guy on the job to leave, and the hardest working guy all day long that is servicing your customers, that is doing the job for you with enthusiasm and energy and passion and discipline and showing you that I can bring value, then I'm going to shake your hand and I'm going to thank you for the opportunity. And if you'll allow me that opportunity to prove myself to you, all I'm asking for you in return is the opportunity to have a full-time job where I can earn a meaningful, livable wage. And we sent that letter out. We put it in a package. We put it in an envelope, put a self-addressed stamped envelope. And I'll tell you what, in the next couple of weeks, he had several job offers waiting for him before he got out of prison. Started off in fear, position of weakness, took action, became strong. Opportunities. I want you to start sowing seeds right now for your prosperity, for your success. I am Michael Santos with michaelsantos.com, with Earning Freedom Podcast, with Success After Prison Podcast. I'm going to be back soon with another episode of the Success After Prison book, where I'll read some more from this book. If you'd like a free digital copy, just go to michaelsantos.com, give me your email address so that I can send it to you, and I'll send you the free digital copy. You can order a paperback copy if you'd like from there. Order one of my courses from there. I am asking that you subscribe to the Earning Freedom Podcast, Success After Prison podcast, so that we get more distribution. Please rate and review the show. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Facebook, like me on Facebook. What is the other one? Follow me on Twitter at michaelgsantos.twitter.com. You see, I'm always networking. I'm always trying to connect. Why? Because I know that these networks are valuable. Build your networks. Again, I say, I don't ask you to do anything that I don't do. You want to succeed after prison? Sow the seeds right now. Make it happen. I'm Michael Santos with michaelsantos.com. You can pick up the show notes there. Thanks. Bye-bye.